Well, we can't do favorite tropes without doing least favorite tropes. I just ran into my bookshelf. Good evening, bookies. My name is Hannah, and today we are doing Top 10 Tuesdays. So today we are doing the opposite of Top 10 Tuesdays last week, where we're talking about my least favorite book tropes. So let's get to it. As per usual, I'm going to start from 10, go to 1. Number 1 is my absolute least favorite book trope. And I think, honestly, some of you might be surprised, and I'm sure others are going to be like, that's predictable, Hannah. But we'll get to that in a minute. So, number 10, we have the rich love interest. And I'm being kind of nitpicky with this one, but I know that books aren't supposed to be realistic. But it gets kind of boring where it's always a prince, or they're just conveniently rich, or their parents are just conveniently rich. Again, I'm being nitpicky. It doesn't bug me so much. That's why it's number 10. I actually kind of like the idea of them being rich, but like, it might be interesting to try it out. Number 9, opening up the book with a dream. Now, I actually haven't seen this very often recently, but I feel like when I was in like junior high, it was every other book would be them waking up with a start, or waking up in their bed just covered in sweat from the nightmare they had, and something like that. And it was overplayed back then, and to this day I still don't like it. That's all I have to say about it. Number 8, the Mary Jane. Now again, this one's not very played on very often anymore, but man, when it was overused. Like, there's no way that a character is just gonna try out archery or sword fighting or hand-to-hand combat and just be miraculously good at it. Like, amazing good at it. Because nothing is ever that easy. Not even BookTube. Number 7, the best friend becomes a love interest. I don't like this trope because it seems the only time... How do I explain it? It's just annoying because suddenly, oh, you're going after this person? Well, I've been in love with you since we were kids, even though I didn't show any interest in you until the plot wanted me to. There's 2 that I can think of, and it's just kind of annoying because I don't like that trope. Like, best friend guys can just be best friend guys. And then, like, just leave them there. And don't have them throw a hissy fit because they're not chosen. Just leave them as friends. That's all I want. That's all I'm asking. Number 6, romanticizing mental illness. There's a lot I could say about this topic. As someone suffering from ADD, anxiety, and depression, I'm not going to get too far into it. I just think there are a lot of books that could use better representation for mental illnesses. And a lot of books play on it as a plot point, and it's not really a plot point. It's a life. Like, anxiety and depression affects every aspect of someone's life. It's not just there for convenience. You know, that's all I'm going to say about it. Number 5, tyrannical government. Which, funny thing, I actually realized that I don't like this plot because now it's just too realistic. It applies too well to the real world. But there's a lot of tropes and cliches where the government is really, really messed up. Which is true. Government is messed up. But for a long time there, that was all that it was. Bad government, bad government, bad government. And I could go off forever about tyrannical governments. Number 4, absent or dead parents. Now, the dead parent thing doesn't bug me too much because, you know, I mean, it happened in Harry Potter, which is, you know, a big thing in Harry Potter. And, like, that wasn't a spoiler. It happens in a couple other books where it's just a big thing that happened in their life. But when the parent is in the story and alive, but they don't talk to their kids barely, they don't, like, interact with the kids' lives, they're literally just there to be like, hey, I'm not an orphan. Look at that. Like, I would love to have a parent who's, like, active in their child's lives in the book. That's all I'm gonna say. It's just kind of convenient that the parents are, like, out of the way. Moms are, dads are, no, not happening. Number 3, when the main character is self-deprecating but beautiful. I get it. But when a book character is literally like, oh, I'm plain and horrible and ugly, and has like no self-confidence, and then someone walks up and goes, oh, you're beautiful, and then suddenly the character is like, I know, I'm so perfect, there's so much self-confidence. It doesn't work like that. And again, I feel like with this I'm being a little nitpicky, but I hate when book characters who are obviously beautiful sit here and say that they're not. I don't know why, just because I'm being nitpicky. Number 2, The Chosen One, which is number 2 because this also happens a lot. Chosen One, prophecies, child who is supposed to die. That was a little... I actually thought of Harry Potter and Percy Jackson for those 3, so it wasn't just straight up Harry Potter. But it happens a lot, where it's a chosen one, or suddenly they have a power that no one has had in thousands of years, and suddenly they can control it when no one else has. It's fine, but it's boring. And number 1, I hate this trope. I will always hate this trope. I never liked this trope. Love triangles can go to hell. I hate them. And I hate them even more when the love triangle includes the best friend. That's the worst. I don't know why I hate them so much. I think it's because I'm mad when the main character doesn't go for the guy I wanted her to go for, which is like a petty thing, like get over yourself. But I also don't like that it is so heavily used in a lot of YA. Just, it's everywhere. Twilight, Hunger Games, The Selection, To All the Boys I've Loved Before, Tiger's Curse. There's one in Percy Jackson, which honestly I find really funny because it's not, like, it's Percy and 2 other girls, which you don't see very often because, why? But, like, there's one in Percy Jackson, there's one in Maximum Ride. There's just too many. Which I know, again, we're kind of leaning away from that now in YA, but it was overused back then. It's way overused now. Alright, I went on quite a lot of tangents in this video. I hope I can splice it all together to make it sound like I know what I'm saying. But that is it for this video. I will see you guys on Friday. Rock on!